Well, greetings fellow seekers. Today I'd like to sell you on the virtues and promise of engaging in a 60-day reset. I'd like to try and persuade you that rewiring your brain neurologically by engaging in a 60-day project is a fantastic idea. If you consider 60 days as being almost 2 months, what you can do is you can create a short scale reset and dedicate yourself to a new project over the 60-day period. You're going to achieve a number of things if you stick with it. The first thing that you're going to achieve is you're going to shock your brain into accepting the unusual and developing the resources and the expectations to actually meet the challenges. One of the problems we face is if we attack a different challenge, there's going to be a certain amount of skirmishing, shock and awe, a few explosions going off in the brain. And the brain needs time to be able to reset itself and to recalibrate so that the expectations that you provide for it can be met. A 60-day reset is a great way to overcome the initial excitement, hiss and roar, and fear of a new challenge, and embed it in such a way as it becomes more formularized and more structured. So what you're going to do is find yourself a project that you can dedicate yourself to for 60 days, and then I suggest that you evaluate the impacts it's having on the way that you think and the way that your identity reforms as a consequence. Because momentum will come from repetition, not intense, sporadic attacks on some kind of imaginary foxhole. No, if you can build and repeat and build and repeat on a daily basis, what you're going to do is you're going to compound your successes. If I were to ask you to walk 60 kilometers today, you would look at me like I'd lost my mind. But if I were to ask you to walk 1 kilometer for 60 days each, you would say, yeah, I can do that. That's manageable. That's the kind of way that you can create conditions for yourself where you have achieved 60 kilometers of distance, but you've done it in such a way as that it enables you to change your mind, change your outlook. And of course it will have impacts on changing elements of your identity. There's nothing like creating successful outcomes for yourself to increase your confidence. Others will look at you like you've lost your marbles if you tell them you're doing a 60-day reset of some kind or project. Be aware of that. Don't let it faze you. It's not their job to be impressed by your projects. However, you must be aware also that when people look at you in a slightly bemused manner because you've told them about your project or the thing that you want to do, if you choose to, it's impossible likely for them to understand the impacts that the project is having on you as a person, not unless they've done one themselves. What's going to happen as well over the 60-day neurological rewire is that you're going to find problems that you never knew existed, and you're going to solve those problems. You're going to give yourself that dopamine hit of expecting and achieving results in a tangible fashion on a daily basis. For that very reason, engaging in a 60-day reset is an opportunity to treat yourself to success and confidence building and identity shifts, and you can do it in a purposeful manner. The structures that your brain will create and the frameworks that you will discover will enable you to move forward in a smoother manner, but also they will enable you to tackle challenges without second guessing. After a while, the challenges that you create for yourself on a 60-day reset are going to reduce in intensity and size as you go forward. You're going to create a framework or a structure for yourself which is going to enable you to pick up whenever you wish to and achieve however you wish to. And your progress, of course, not only will become smoother, but it will be recorded. You are now treating yourself to the supreme pleasure of setting milestones for yourself and being able to retrace your steps and see how far you've come. Your consistent output, as opposed to just throwing dice into the void, your consistent output is going to create so many benefits for yourself that you're going to wonder why you haven't tried something like this previously. My current progress, I'm on day 49 today of my YouTube posting daily project. When I began, I was reading to scripts. I didn't really have a process to use. Now I have a process which is much more generic. I can just briefly refer to thumbnails, shall we say, in order to get my points across. Whereas prior to that, I was inventing and rehearsing and using AI and all sorts of tricks in order to get my scripts down. Now what I do is I just bust out the talking points in very brief detail and I just go for it. What's happening is that my personality is starting to emerge more, whereas on day one of this project my personality was largely submerged. I was concentrating and focused so much on meeting new challenges and learning new skills that I had to suppress my personality in order to get the job done. Well, this is a very good example of how now I've created a structure and a framework for myself in which I can operate with more ease, and I couldn't do that at the beginning. This is just one of the benefits. Beyond technological benefits, researching materials, finding out how to set up a studio, the list goes on. My point being that I have solved problems that I didn't even know existed when I started this project. I'm on day 49. I've still got almost 2 weeks to go. And I'm anxious and keen and excited to find out what new problems I can solve and how to go forward using the frameworks and structures I've created for myself. I strongly advise you to do something similar. Your project could be anything from reading a new recipe a day, walking a kilometre a day, using a bike. It could be read one page of an influential book a day. It could be tell somebody something good a day. It could be engage in an altruistic action, a random act of kindness once a day for 60 days. I promise you, whatever you choose to do, it will be beneficial to you in terms of your confidence growth, in terms of your personality adaptation, the technical skills you will learn. The way you feel about yourself will be radically different after 60 days of structured, considered action. So the reset is going to build an element of identity for you. The identity that it will build for you will become apparent to you and to others. The identity was already in there because it was the identity which set the goal. However, how many times have you set a goal or started a project and not followed through? Every time you did that, you are going to give yourself negative self-talk. You're going to lower your own self-esteem, your own confidence. You're going to feel less in your own eyes and perhaps in the eyes of other people if you've told them. If you set yourself a 60-day project, a 60-day reset, following an interest that you are passionate about, and you stick to it, I promise you hand on heart that the results will be astounding. Follow me every day, subscribe, like, all of those things. Come back to me tomorrow. I'm missing you already, fellow seeker. Remember, whatever it is you dare to do or dare to dream, begin it now. And then do it for 60 days.